Hi everyone! There's nothing I love more from the garden than a garden fresh tasty salad. And traditionally, when you think of salad, you think of lettuce. Now lettuce is a cool weather vegetable, and when the temperatures heat up like they are now in the summertime, lettuce starts to send up a tall stalk from the middle, that's called bolting, then it flowers and goes to seed. So it really doesn't like the summer temperatures. But no worries, you can still grow your beautiful summer salads all summer long. The key is planting heat tolerant greens. So today what I'm going to do is show you how to plant a summer salad station with 5 heat tolerant greens so that you can have those fresh tasty salads all summer long. If you've never planted a salad station before, you are going to love it. Basically what it is all the ingredients that you need for a salad all in one location. And I like to plant mine next to the house so I can just pop outside here for easy access to quickly pick a summer salad. Now I just pulled out a whole bunch of lettuce that was growing all over the winter time. It had bolted and gone to seed. So I freshly amended this garden bed with some worm castings and compost. You can go back and watch my video on how to prepare your garden bed for planting so you know exactly what to do, because you definitely want to add fresh nutrients each time you plant. Whenever I can in my garden beds, I like to plant what's called thrillers, fillers, and spillers. And along the back here, I have some thrillers. Now, thrillers are vegetables that grow up. You can grow them vertically to add some visual interest to your garden. And they're also edible at the same time, and they're going to provide some toppings for our salad. So in this case here, I have some cucumbers, which are going to be beautiful on top of our salad. They're going to climb up this trellis here, and these are from my cucumber seed collection. You can plant them from transplant start seeds indoors, or you can plant seeds directly in your garden beds at this time of the year. Now another thriller I love to have on top of my salads are tomatoes. Who doesn't love a garden fresh tomato, right? And here I've got a thriller. This is a large red cherry from my tomato seed collection, planted here on a ladder mesh trellis, which grows from this garden bed all the way over to a garden bed right next door here. And we're just weaving the tomatoes in and out of this ladder mesh trellis as they grow. And they're going to provide a great thriller for my garden bed and a beautiful, yummy topping for my salad. So now let's get to planting the heat tolerant greens. All 5 varieties of heat-tolerant greens we're planting today, we're going to direct seed right here in the garden bed. You can also start them from seed indoors if you like, but this time of the year, it's easy just to pop the seeds right in the garden bed. And they're all from my heat-tolerant greens seed collection, which you can grab over at CaliKimGardeningHome.com. Now, number 1 variety we're going to plant is Paris Cause romaine lettuce. Now, Paris Cause romaine lettuce is a more heat-tolerant variety of lettuce, and it's usually good up to about 80 degrees before it starts to bolt and go to seed. But one little tip that you can do during the summertime is plant your lettuce where it's going to get some shade so it doesn't get quite so hot. So we're going to pop in some seeds right here on the edge of this garden bed. It gets shaded from the deck right behind me here. It's a little bit more of a cooler spot. So we're going to pop in the seeds right now. Lettuce is going to be one of our filler vegetables that we're going to plant to fill the middle of the garden bed. And lettuce is so easy to plant from seed. We're going to plant it just in the first third here of the garden bed. Now to plant lettuce, you just sprinkle some seeds here on the surface of the soil. We're going to sprinkle them right along the drip irrigation hose so that it gets all the water that it needs to grow and give us some nice, fresh, tasty salads. And the easy thing about lettuce is you don't even have to cover the seeds. You can just press them down. They actually need light to germinate. If you want to, you can cover them lightly just so the birds don't get them. The second heat-tolerant green that I'm going to plant, one of my very favorites, is kale. Now I've got 2 types of kale in my heat-tolerant green seed collection. The red Russian kale, which I actually have planted right here. It's such a gorgeous kale. Look at these beautiful purple stems. It's more of a tender kale than some of the other varieties. It loves the heat, it loves the cold, and you can literally grow it during the summer and during the winter if you live in a mild winter climate. So super easy to plant from seed. We're going to plant it again as a filler in the second third here of the garden bed. And you just want to sprinkle the seeds again on top of the soil. If you can, space your seeds about 2 inches apart, but if you get some extra in there, no big deal, because you can always go in and thin the little kale seedlings, and they make a delicious baby kale salad that you're going to absolutely love having in your summer garden. Now, kale is one of those vegetables that just grows like crazy. In fact, once it kind of wears out, what you can do is chop it off at the stem and it will regrow leaves. So it's a great vegetable that will give you tons of harvest for many, many months to come. Now, if you're growing in a small space, you can definitely grow your heat-tolerant greens all summer long. Here I have some of the red Russian kale growing in a black Calicum 5-gallon smart pots. It's a perfect size to put on your deck or patio. And kale grows absolutely beautifully in a container. And this actually comes as a salad in a container kit with heat-tolerant greens. 5 varieties. You get the seeds, you get the Calicum smart pots, and a copy of my book, and directions on how to plant your salad in a container so that you can grow your delicious salads all summer long. The third variety of heat-tolerant greens that really takes the summer heat is blue Scotch curled kale. The blue Scotch curled kale is a beautiful kale variety. It's a little bit different from the red Russian kale. It's nice and frilly, kind of textured, so it really adds a nice texture and a depth of flavor to your kale salads. And I absolutely love having it in my heat-tolerant greens summer salad station here. So we're going to do the same thing, just sprinkle the kale seeds right on top of the surface of the soil. Now you do need to cover your kale seeds with a little bit of soil. So I'm just sprinkling a little bit, just lightly over the top here. Just going to press it down. And your kale seeds should be germinating within a week or so. The fourth heat-tolerant green for your summer salad station, and I love this one, is red chard. You can plant any variety of chard that you want, but I have red chard in my heat-tolerant green seed collection. It also grows beautifully in a container. Got some growing right here in this container, so it's a great green to grow on your deck or patio or balcony. Now, chard seeds are quite a bit larger than the lettuce and the kale seeds. They're actually little seed pods. They have several different seeds in each little seed pod. So I'm going to plant them here right next to my drip irrigation hose. I'm going to plant them about every 6 inches apart. They're quite large vegetables. And here I actually have a chard that's been growing in this garden bed for a couple of years now. And chard's another one of those greens that you can just chop off at the stem whenever that plant has run its course, and it will grow new leaves for you. So it will grow over the course of several years. So I'm just popping in a seed next to each drip emitter so it gets the water that it needs. And chard will germinate within a week to 10 days, and it will grow beautifully in the summer heat. We've got our thrillers, our cucumbers and tomatoes along the back. We've got our fillers, our kale and our chard to fill the middle of our salad station. Now it's time for the spillers. And a beautiful heat-tolerant green that I love to plant as a spiller is called New Zealand spinach. Now, New Zealand spinach looks a little bit similar to regular spinach, but it's a heat-tolerant variety. And they're also really fun, interesting shaped seeds, seed pods again. So you want to plant them about every 6 inches apart. And they kind of trail and spill over the garden bed. And these seeds you can just kind of push down into the soil because you can see they're really fun, interesting looking seeds. They contain several seeds in each little pod. And New Zealand spinach is delicious to salads, adds a really nice zippy flavor. And all of these greens are also amazing in smoothies for a garden fresh, healthy smoothie. You guys are going to love having your summer salad station. New Zealand spinach seeds are quite large and they do have a hard outer shell. So soak them overnight just in a little cup of water to help soften the hard outer shell. They'll germinate a little bit quicker, but they still can take up to 2 to 3 weeks to germinate in the garden. Or you can speed things up by putting a seedling tray on top of a heat mat indoors, but they still will take a couple of weeks to germinate. A few more steps and our summer salad station will be complete. I'm just gonna water all the seeds in really well, mulch it, and then we are good to go. Now I like to mulch with a couple-inch layer of shredded leaves. I love to use the free material. Now if you're not familiar with mulch here, it's just a 2-inch or so layer that you add to your garden beds to help with water evaporation. And you can use shredded leaves, you can use straw. Shredded leaves are great because they're free. So it protects the vegetables from burning up in the heat or in the cold during the winter time. Adds organic matter to the garden bed. And leaves bring in the worms like crazy. So I'm actually just going to lightly spread the leaves over the top of the garden bed to start off with, just so the seeds can bust through very easily. Then we can add more as the summer progresses to protect the vegetables from the summer heat. Now that you know how to plant a summer salad station of heat-tolerant greens, what I want you to do is go out in your garden and get one planted sometime this week, and comment below and let me know how it goes. Head over to CaliKimGardenandHome.com, pick up one of my heat-tolerant greens salad in a container kits, or the heat-tolerant green seed collection all by itself, along with a copy of my book, and please use the code SALAD for 15% off through Tuesday, June 8th, and each order with this sale will receive a free packet of cucumber seeds so you can have some toppers for your salad station. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.